YouTube, what is going on?
Hope you guys have been well.
It's been a long time since I made a video.
So today,
I want to discuss the real reasons why you're not losing weight. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video in particular is because I am in a fat loss phase. I am currently losing fat. I've got a trip planned, vacation to Aruba planned over the next few days, or not over the next few days, but in the next 4 weeks. I got a trip to Aruba planned in the next 4 weeks, and I want to get lean, and I also want to show you guys what I'm doing because I think it'll be helpful for a lot of you guys who are frustrated with your weight loss progress. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I'm doing, and in the meantime I'm going to educate you guys on why you're maybe struggling and why you're not losing weight. So just got back from the gym. This is meal number 1. It is a protein French toast. I prepped it yesterday, and I'm going to add 2 servings of sugar-free maple syrup, which if you guys haven't had sugar-free maple syrup, it's actually pretty freaking good. And I can't even really tell the difference. I mean, obviously there's gonna be a slight difference, but you really don't even need that much, but I'm gonna use 2 servings here. And this is meal number 1, 30 grams of protein and 400 calories. So actually for meal number 1, we've got 424 calories and 36 grams of protein. So pretty good, and it's a high volume breakfast, lots of fruit and some fiber in there as well, so delicious. And I didn't have to prep anything because I made it all yesterday, which makes my life easier. So I think before we get into the real reasons why you're not losing weight, it's important to dispel some myths, which are the reasons that people think they're not losing weight. The first myth I want to talk about is eating carbohydrates and too many carbs. I hear this from people all the time. They're like, oh my god, Jeff, I'm not losing weight, probably because I love carbs, he he he. And they're joking around, but at the same time they're being 100% serious, because if you look at all the low carb diets that have been really popular in the past, they work, right? And the reason why they work is because when you're eating low carbs, you are also decreasing the amount of processed foods, sugar, snacks, like highly palatable stuff that you can't stop eating. Let me show you. So let's talk about Girl Scout cookies because they seem to be really popular right now. These Thin Mints right here, for 4 cookies is 160 calories, right? 7 grams of fat, 21 grams of carbs. Let me show you how small these things are. 160 calories. If I have 8 of these cookies, that's almost as many calories. That's 100 calories less than this entire meal. This has fiber, it has protein, it has fruit, it has whole grains, right? This is going to keep me full for several hours, whereas these cookies right here are gonna keep me full for maybe 0 minutes. I'm gonna want more, and they're not gonna keep me full, they're just gonna make me want to crave more of them. So even though I have them in the house, most of the time they're not even worth the calories for me, so I don't even have them. I don't even eat them, like I don't crave them. Anyways, and if I do crave them, I have 4 of them, and I'll have 160 calories worth of them. But the same way that this does not make you fat, this food right here does not make you fat either. It's the overconsumption of total calories that are going to make you fat. Okay, so it's not carbohydrates, it's not Girl Scout cookies, it's not sugar, it's not any of those things. It's just the fact that these kinds of foods, they make you want to eat more of them. They're literally engineered by really smart food scientists to make you crave more and more of them. Look them on the back of the box. They're so innocent, right? I don't trust them. I don't trust them at all. Myth number 2, people thinking that they have a slow metabolism. Here's the truth. 99% of people do not have a slow metabolism. The truth is they are just really bad at something called NEAT, N-E-A-T, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. It's just a big fucking fancy word that pretty much just means the amount of activity that you do outside of your exercise for the day. So some examples of NEAT: doing your laundry, picking up your dog's poop in the yard, taking in your groceries, parking further away from the store, walking to and from the store, chasing after your kids, walking your dog. These are all non-exercise activity, okay? For a lot of people, their non-exercise activity is really, really low. An easy way to keep track of this and increase it over time is just to have a step tracker, right? Fitbit, Garmin, I have a Garmin, and keep track of your daily steps. And especially when you're in a deficit, because these same people who say, I have a slow metabolism, a lot of times they get into a calorie deficit and their body just shuts cuts down extra activity. So if they were tracking their steps, they may find that they subconsciously go from 5,000 steps a day down to 2,000 or 3,000 steps per day. So this is why it's so important to have a step target, to stay consistent with that step target, even when you're in a calorie deficit, even when calories get low. And if you really do think you have problems with your metabolism, which is probably not the case, go and get a metabolic cart test. Go get your metabolism checked from your doctor. And what you're gonna find is that your metabolism is totally healthy. I've actually had some clients who were convinced that they had a slow metabolism, or that as they've gotten older their metabolism has slowed down. The truth is your metabolism doesn't slow down until you hit your 60s. And even clients who are in their 60s, your metabolism doesn't slow down that much. The truth is when you are a bigger person, you're going to move less. Sorry, that's just the way it is. If you're a bigger person, you're gonna move less. When you become lighter and lighter and lighter, you're gonna move more. And so if you have a lot of weight to lose, chances are you are just not burning that many calories because you're not moving that much. So we just have to find little sneaky ways to get you moving a bit more. All right, so that's myth number 1 and myth number 2. So those are the common myths that I hear as to why people are not losing weight. Carbs, sugar, insulin, thyroid issues, another myth, usually a myth. And even if you do have like hypothyroidism or you have an issue with your thyroid, you should go to your doctor and get that checked. And if you do get it checked and you get on medication for your thyroid, then it won't be an issue anymore. And yes, it will make weight loss a little bit harder, but that's mostly due to the way your body stores water. And there's different ways to get around that. Okay, so we talked about the myths. Now let's get into the real reasons why you're not losing weight. Okay, so one of the most common mistakes that people make and why they're not losing weight. Okay, so the number one thing, if you want to lose weight, you know you need to be in a calorie deficit. And while you don't necessarily have to track your calories while in a calorie deficit, it can be a really helpful tool. But here's the problem with tracking calories. Most people underreport how many calories they are tracking, as much as 30 to even 50% of your daily caloric intake. So if I'm trying to eat 2,000 calories per day, this means that I can actually be eating more, like 2,600 or 3,000 calories per day, even if I think I'm tracking everything correctly and I'm making all the right choices. The truth is, most people just underreport their calories. So if you do decide to track your calories, one of the most important things you can do is go buy a food scale. You don't have to buy this one. You can buy an Amazon Basics food scale. It's gonna work just fine. And you just start tracking everything in grams. Stop using measuring cups. Stop using tablespoons. It doesn't take more time. It actually takes less time to put your food onto a food scale rather than having to put stuff into measuring cups. And it's gonna be way more accurate. I'm gonna show you guys how quick and easy it is to use a food scale to track your calories. Okay, so step 1. Take your plate. Step 2, turn your scale on. What this is gonna do is it's gonna tear out the plate. So if you take the plate off, it's gonna say minus 850 grams. Okay, so that's how much the plate weighs. You put it back on the scale, it should say 0 grams on the scale. Next, I've got some pre-cooked protein here. I've got some of this Chinese pork. I am going to put, let's see, 90 grams of Chinese pork, and then I'm gonna tear out the scale. Okay, then I've got some pre-cooked rice here. I am going to put my hand in here and I'm gonna put in, that is 100 grams of rice. And I don't really know how much calories this is all gonna be, but I'm kind of using the quarter plate protein, quarter plate carbohydrates, and then half the plate is vegetables strategy, okay? This is just some cabbage that I sliced up yesterday with some carrots, and we're just gonna put a nice hefty amount right there. So that was 87 grams of cabbage. Okay, so now we're gonna go into MyFitnessPal and we're gonna track this. Now luckily for me, all of this stuff I've already tracked it before in MyFitnessPal, so it should be really easy to find. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, and see how it says Chinese style barbecue pork, I'm gonna hit 81 grams. I'm gonna go down to 1 gram, and then I'm gonna change this number to 90 grams of pork. That's 156 calories. Hit okay, and then we're gonna go to lunch, and you can see here I already have have basmati rice cooked, and I had 100 grams of cooked basmati rice. And then you can see here coleslaw mix, which is just the cabbage, carrots, and I have 100 grams, which is going to be 30 calories. So if you look back at this meal, everything is in grams, 322 calories. And if I go down here, I can even hit this ... and then hit save as meal, and that's going to show me the calories, protein, carbohydrates, and fat breakdown. So we got 40 grams of carbs, 6 grams of fat, and 26 grams of protein for 322 calories. Okay, now what if I want to add some sauce onto this meal? I don't just want to eat this dry. So we're going to hit on again, which is going to tear out the plate. Again, we're just using one plate here, so there's no need to do any dishes. I'm not having to break out all these measuring cups and do all these experiments. It's just one plate, and here I've got some of this sugar-free teriyaki sauce. So it says on the back here for every 15 grams is 5 calories. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do 30 grams of this sauce, and I'm just gonna watch the scale. I may not even do that much because this stuff's actually, we're just gonna do the 15 grams. So boom, that's 5 calories. So if you have the barcode function on MyFitnessPal or whatever you're using, you can use the barcode function, or you can just type it in, but I do have the barcode function, and it's 5 calories. So boom, that's the meal. Okay, so there you go. That is an accurately portioned and tracked plate of food, and that is how you do it, guys. That's how you use a food scale. There's no dishes to do. It's literally just this one plate, and we're done. We tracked it. It took like less than 5 minutes to prepare this meal because we did some work ahead of time to prepare it. Now imagine if you can save this as a meal, it would take less than 10 seconds for you to track this meal. Now let's say I use cooking oil to fry up this food, okay? Cooking oil has 130 calories for every 15 milliliters. And most food scales, if you turn it on, you can hit on. This is called reverse weighing. You're gonna take the cap off, you're gonna hit on the food scale, and it's going to, you can actually change the units to milliliters. So once you do that, now it says 15 milliliters is 130 calories. So you're gonna pour from this bottle, glug, 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 glug into your pan, however many milliliters you wanna use. You're gonna put it back on the scale, and then you're going to track it for how many milliliters you used. It's gonna say minus, let's say 15 milliliters, you're gonna track 15 milliliters because that's how much is missing from the bottle. This is called reverse weighing. You can do it with peanut butter, sauces, jelly, stuff like that. Super important that you track condiments and sauces and literally everything. Like if you are going to do this, if you're gonna track your calories and be in a fat loss phase, you might as well do it the right way, because if not, you're just going to be in this fat loss phase forever. You're gonna get frustrated. Dieting is a mental game. How long can you stay in it? How long can you stay consistent? How long can you stay in the game in order to reach your goals? And if you have 50 pounds, 100 pounds to lose, you need to stay in the game a lot longer. So tracking your calories accurately is going to help you stay in the game longer, and taking some diet breaks. We'll talk about that later. Stop underreporting your calories. I know a lot of you guys are not doing this on purpose. You're just doing it because you were told that like using measuring cups and going out to eat, going out to a restaurant and like estimating how much food you're eating would be good enough. The truth is, if you're underreporting your calories by 30 to 50%, you're underreporting yourself out of a calorie deficit. So this is the number one reason why you're not losing weight. You're not in a calorie deficit because you are underreporting your calories. Now, if you're dieting, you want to pour you up some of this nice Coke Zero, okay? Not sponsored, by the way, but Coke Zero is a game changer. Tastes 100% better than Diet Coke, by the way. I'll drink Diet Coke, but Coke Zero, phew, it's just different. Let me know down in the comments, you guys like Coke Zero or Diet Coke better? Helps you stay full in a calorie deficit too. A little bit of caffeine, a little bit of bubbly, a little bit of sweetness to keep you going. Oh man, I cannot tell you guys how nice it is. Finally have some sunshine. Oof. Another one of the biggest reasons you're not losing weight is you are overestimating how many calories you're burning. So that can be in your workouts or throughout the day. Let's say your Apple Watch says you burn 800 calories in an hour. The truth is, you didn't burn that much. And as a matter of fact, it's stupid to eat back your calories from exercise anyways, because it's probably an overestimation. We don't actually have a good way of estimating calories burned in the first place. But if anything, it's just gonna put you into a larger deficit, so you should just eat those calories back. One thing I actually don't like about MyFitnessPal is it actually adds in the calories that you burn from exercise back into your daily total. So if you look at your MyFitnessPal right now, better to turn the step tracker off so that you're not adding those calories back in, thinking that you need to eat back your calories from exercise. I personally think it's one of the dumbest features of MyFitnessPal, and I don't know, if it wasn't such an easy to use app, I probably wouldn't even bother with it. Oh my God, it's such a nice day out today. You guys have no idea how badly I've just needed this sunshine. I love living in Oregon, but this has been a dark, gloomy, and very, very cold winter, and a long winter at that. So one thing I'm trying to do right now while I'm exercising my dog is I'm moving around a little bit more. I'm walking around in place. I'm pacing around just to give myself a little bit more steps here. I like to just wear him out a little bit more before we go on our actual walk. So we're gonna go on like probably a 30-minute walk after this, and then I'll be able to get more steps in. But I'm already at 3,600 steps for the day. I had my protein French toast, and then I had that Chinese pork and rice. And so I think I'm at around 700 calories so far for the day, and probably about 50 grams of protein. So I got a lot more protein to eat and not that much more food left, to be honest. I'm trying to eat around 1,800 calories. Some days I go a little bit under, some days I go a little bit over, and the reason for that is I like to keep my calories lower at the beginning of the week, and then I increase them at the end of the week so that I can have a little bit more food on Saturday and Sunday. And yeah, that's just what's been working well in this deficit. So come here, get the ball. Where's the ball? Here it is. I got my trip to Aruba in approximately 3 weeks. So trying to get lean for that trip so that, yeah, so I can take some photos on the beach looking good. And then when I get back, I'm gonna go into a small, much slower deficit. Right now I'm going a little bit more quickly. And then when I get back from my trip, I'll go into a much slower deficit, lean out before summertime, and then I can kind of take the summer to eat at maintenance. Currently, my lifting routine is about 4 days per week, but I'm doing an optional 5th day just because I just like to be in the habit of going to the gym consistently, which I have not been that consistent with going to the gym. I've been missing workouts here and there. I don't have any excuses as to why I've been missing workouts. I really don't like it when I miss workouts, but I think getting it done first thing in the morning like I did this morning is the key to me being more consistent, because after a long work day, I just do not want to go to the gym. I know it's gonna be packed, it's gonna be crowded. I'm gonna have to wait for machines, I'm gonna have to wait for squat racks, I'm gonna have to wait for dumbbells. So for me, it makes more sense to go in the morning time, and I get it done with early in the day. I get an endorphin rush, I get a little bit of dopamine hit, and I'm like, I don't know, I just get more fired up for my day. I can almost guarantee I would not have started making this YouTube video if I had not gone to the gym early in the morning. Another reason why I wanted to jump back on YouTube this week is I've just been feeling a little bit burnt out with the short form, dopamine-y kind of like Instagram short content, like short little quick hits of dopamine and playing that whole game. I'd much rather make more long form content so that people can get a lot more out of these kinds of videos, articles, podcasts, stuff like that. All right, he's tired, so we're gonna go on our walk now. No matter what, one of the main things I've been including every single day, even if I haven't been as consistent with the gym as I would have liked to be, is cardio and playing pickleball, just getting my steps in. I think it's been the biggest factor in this fat loss phase, but I wanna maintain muscle, I wanna maintain strength. So I don't wanna stop lifting. I don't wanna get inconsistent with my lifting, because that is a huge part of what I'm trying to do. Okay guys, we're gonna make some fish tacos. So this is 5 ounces of rock fish. So you can see here, if I grab this guy, 5.1 ounces. So that's how many ounces of fish that is. I got my pan ripping hot. Gonna add just a tiny bit of non-stick. I'm gonna take the fish, drop it in, and use some of this Lowry's seasoning salt, garlic salt. And we're gonna cover that. That should steam the fish pretty quickly here. Then we're gonna make a quick little sauce. So put this guy to grams, and we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of this chipotle adobo sauce. We're not gonna use the peppers. These are the peppers. We're gonna use some of this sauce at the bottom here and just 2 little teaspoons. This stuff's really spicy, so use less if you don't need as much. And we're gonna tear that out again. This stuff has really minimal calories, so we're not even gonna track it because it's very little. And then we are going to add, see on the back of this label for the sour cream, 2 tablespoons is 30 grams for 60 calories. So that's what we want. We want 30 grams of sour cream. There's 29 on the dot. We're gonna mix this up. Then we're going to flip our fish. Should have some nice crust on it. And you can see it's pretty much cooked. See how it's flaking apart like that? It's cooked. It's done. So we're just gonna turn it off. Let that steam. Let it rest and get this pan nice and hot. Spray again. Put that pan on ripping hot. And then we got 2 corn tortillas. These are just regular store-bought corn tortillas here. 2 of them should be 50 calories. Or I'm sorry, 2 is 100 calories. So these are 50 calories each. Okay, so we're gonna take these, run them under some water. This will bring them back to life a little bit. And then we're just gonna put them in the pan like so and cover them. Fish is done. Tortilla's heating up. Sauce is done. Okay, so got our tortillas. These are done. Boom, throw those down. Then we cover it with some of this sauce. Okay, it's plenty of sauce. For 50 calories, you can't beat that amount of sauce. One thing I hate is dry fish tacos. It's the worst. Okay, so sauce is on. Boom. Now, got some of this slaw action from earlier. I'm gonna use a tiny bit of slaw. Then, got our beautiful fish here. Just gonna break this up, stuff it inside of the tacos. Boom. We got a lot of fish, by the way. Okay, then once we got those all built up, got some fresh lime, and we're just gonna hit these with a little bit of lime right over the top like that. There you go, guys. There's some 10-minute fish tacos. 10 minutes, guys. Whew. Okay, so got our taco here. We're gonna do a little taste test, see how it is. So good. 10 minutes, amazing.
Style is authentic, unlike yeah. I keep it all the way 100 to the spikes up. And when I forget, I'll forget she get hype.
This is Richard's Teeth. Alright, so I'm a little hungry, so I'm gonna have some casein protein. Alright, so we just got back from pickleball. Gonna have a couple scoops of this casein protein from Legion. This stuff's amazing, by the way. 1 scoop is only 120 calories with 26 grams of protein, so that's gonna give me 52 grams of protein for only 240 calories. The reason I like casein is because it's slow digesting and it actually keeps you full. You got 1 and 2. Alright, so we got our protein. I'm gonna enjoy it on my back patio here. Enjoy some of this sunshine because tomorrow it's gonna be 40 degrees. Alright guys, next meal we're gonna make some quesadillas. So I'm gonna take 2 of these wraps, and then right here I got some fat-free cheese. Literally just gonna, this is the easiest thing you'll ever make. It's boring as hell, but it gets the job done. So that's 56 grams of fat-free cheese. And then if I wanna make it taste kind of like pepper jack, here's what I do. You take some of this sambal, or if you have sriracha, you can use that, but sambal, and then I just put like a little bit like that inside of it, seal it up, bam, that's it. That's literally it. And we're just gonna put these on high heat, I guess medium heat. Put these on medium heat, cover it, and then give it like 5 minutes. And then while that's cooking, I'm gonna air fry some broccoli. So the key is with this, you gotta press the cheese out a little bit, okay? So this will create like these little crispy bits, and that's what makes this so damn good. You gotta press the cheese out, let it crisp up like that. All right, y'all, so You got the air fried broccoli. Boom. Didn't overdo it. Then we're gonna scrape these bad boys up. Oh yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. See that? See that crispy cheese on there? Here you got something to scrape it. Boom. There you go. That's dinner. Gotta make this garlic broccoli too. Bam. You know Mello always wants some. Okay, so there's 2 more reasons why you're not losing weight. The first one is so Mello has a buddy that he plays with through this fence. So this is what's going on in the background. Anyways, love my dog, but he is a psycho. Okay, so one of the last reasons you're not losing weight is because you are trying to be too restrictive with your diet and it's causing you to binge. A lot of people don't think about this one. It's like being super... I had to come inside because the dogs are barking like crazy. They're playing out there. So a lot of people don't think about this one, but if your diet is causing you to binge, in other words, like you are super on point, you have all these food rules, you can't have this food, you can't have cookies, you can't have pizza, you can't go out to eat. It's like if you have all these rules around your diet and it's causing you to just completely say fuck it and binge, that is a huge red flag. Not only is that a problem with the way your diet's set up, but it's a problem with possibly your mental health. One thing I'll have my clients do is just start journaling, just start writing stuff down. And in the morning time, break out your journal and talk about what happened yesterday. This could be from a nutrition perspective, but a lot of times there's other stressors and other things going on in your life, which can lead you to stress eating, emotional eating, binging, all of that stuff. But being on super low calories and having all of these food rules does not make it any easier. And then one of the last ones here, another reason why you're not losing weight is the weekends. This one is super common. A lot of people struggle with finding a balance between eating during the week and then weekend eating. Seems like during the week they're able to keep things together, calories are in check, they're hitting their protein, they're hitting their workouts. The weekend comes and they completely stop tracking. Or they go out to eat for like 5 meals, right? So it's really easy to undo an entire week's worth of a calorie deficit in just one weekend. And that's what you're probably doing every single week. So what do you do about it? There's a couple things you can do. One of them is to implement some calorie cycling. So Jordan Syatt talked about a weekend warrior deficit, and I think this is a really useful strategy. So what I'll do is I'll have my clients have 5 low calorie days and 2 high calorie days. So you still are going to track those 2 days on the weekend, but they can be higher in calories. So let's say, so as long as those calories for the week are going to average out, it really doesn't matter whether you have 1,500 calories this day or 2,000 calories this day, because the total for the week is going to be the same. So you're still going to be in a weekly calorie deficit. So I'm not sponsored by this company, Anabar. This is Remington James's company, but they sent me a box of their protein bars, and I gotta say, these are fucking phenomenal. They're not great as far as calories go. Many of them are above 250 calories. This one I want to try. This one, for example, is 285 calories for a tiny little protein bar. 21 grams of protein. So not terrible, but definitely like this is as many calories as like a meal. Definitely not the best stuff to eat when you're in a calorie deficit, but every now and then it's fine. So we're gonna try this one out. This is the cinnamon swirl crunch. So it looks like maybe some cinnamon toast crunch type fillings. All of their protein bars are so freaking good. I'm gonna finish this, watch some Theo Von, and then I've got one more thing to eat, and I'm gonna call it a night. We're gonna wrap up the night with one of these Yasso sea salt caramel crunch bars. 160 calories, you guys. Really good. All right, that is gonna wrap up the video, guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.